killed Anakin Skywalker?
I am the one who destroyed Anakin Skywalker. Nick A30.
Wow.
It was a necessary act.
Because the approach we've taken is, it's not just a you slam the door open and it's a free fall. Not at all. It's much more of a, we help creators and Star Wars see eye to eye.
I think this is going to be a fundamental part of the engine. We're going to see entirely new genres of games invented that weren't possible or practical before without this technology. Every new advance in technology, every significant one, has led to the rise of new games. Remember 3D gaming just became possible, and then Doom and Wolfenstein introduced the 3D shooter. The battle royale genre itself only became possible when you had enough performance on hardware and in engines that you could have 100 players in a single play space. AI characters giving you the possibility of infinite dialogue with a really simple setup for creators means small teams will be able to create games with immense amounts of characters, immense and interactive worlds. You can imagine, what would it take for a 10-person team to build a game like Zelda Breath of the Wild? The AI is just doing all of the dialogue and you're just writing some character synopses. It's totally going to be within reach over the next few years.
Our job in many ways is to just enable any new technology as a tool, like to turn it from a mystery into just like a tool you can use amongst any other tool. I think the most important thing for us is for us to gain deep knowledge of what's possible and use that to turn it into like what is the best way to integrate that into a tool chain that could be used for anyone. Like what's the first thing we needed to do with Vader was to show that like this is a really fun, interactive, just exploring, figuring out what it can do, like just all the things that we were hoping that people would do with Vader is exactly what happened. Like players actually want this. And from that going back and saying, so what is the best way, in the most broad way we can take that tool and not just make what we did? It wouldn't be fun if we just said you can have Vader and you can just put another character on it. Can we make better stuff if we help people sort of along the way using whatever technology, in this case AI?
And you will learn why mommy is not a title I bear lightly.
I see AI as technology that's ultimately there to empower human creators to create stuff more efficiently. I think that's a good thing. It's unfortunate that the advent of modern AI has been tainted by companies just ripping massive amounts of content off of other companies and individuals on the web. As a base level technology, it should be a multiplying factor and multiplying force on our abilities. Enabling indie teams to build bigger and better games means also enabling AAA teams to build staggering, immense, huge games and to polish it ever further. There's going to be a massive evolution as everybody goes, scrambles to learn new skills to get on top of what's possible here. But I think, as with any other technology that's improved our lives, the ultimate opportunity for people is higher.
Lego, TMNT, and Walking Dead, like each one of those IPs have different like their brand rules, right? And we help companies essentially define their brand rules. And when a creator goes and says, I want to make an Avatar, the Last Airbender game, then also explicitly signing up for the brand rules that brand sets. That there's ratings restrictions, there's usage restrictions. It's entirely up to the IP holder, and this should be. How do you want your IP to be used by creators? Like to look at the question slightly differently, like Disney says, like we can figure this out with Star Wars with Epic, because the approach we've taken is, it's not just you slam the door open and it's a free fall. Not at all. It's much more of a, we help creators and Star Wars see eye to eye on this is what the Star Wars universe is. This is what the Star Wars universe can do. And let's do Lego instead, is a better example. Like in the brand rules of Lego, it says no experience more than E10. Like from our perspective, that allows Lego to be comfortable with the IP being used, and of course it should be like that. Like marrying IPs with like broad creator usage is, if you take it very serious, that these brands have worked, in Lego's case, 90 years to figure out who they are. And in the end, unauthentic Lego experience doesn't help anyone. We would much rather we help like a legitimate licensed experience come to life where that creator can say, I made a Lego game, rather than like sort of a free-fall rip-off of the IP that exists everywhere. I don't know that AI is changing the game at all. Like making something that has a copyright or IP, any sort of IP is IP infringement, and the rules are the exact same whether it's AI or not. Honestly, I don't know. Because there's so many ways to moderate on a prompt level also. If I asked to make Sonic the Hedgehog, that's pretty easy to spot that you just asked for something IP infringing, right? So I don't know, like the rules are the same. Like for if you make content that infringes, like systems around to help IP holders not feel like they're beholden to if somebody made something that's IP infringing.
Well, there's a whole world of possibilities, right? One is giving them the ability, the AI that's making the decisions, the ability to specify gameplay actions, go here, do this, both at a high level and at a low level to make them more avid participants in the game. Vader had some of that, but it's only scratching the surface. Another one is multi-character interactions. I think that's going to be very interesting. It's some of the really interesting things that happen in games like GTA's. There's lots of different characters in the world and they have relationships with each other and there's kind of a web of knowledge among them of what's happening in the world, and you're sent on missions according to that. AI has the ability to play like not only individual character operator of these separate pieces, but also sometimes discuss Dungeon Master to set up the entire scenario, define a whole lot of characters and the relationships and the player's goals, and then to potentially even oversee the game as it develops, making higher level decisions about how the game evolves. Battle Royale is a very structured kind of formulaic. There are randomized rules for how the storm closes, but you can imagine a much more free-form game. Like Grand Theft Auto or Breath of the Wild, AI might be making quite a lot of interesting decisions about how a game world evolves and ensuring that it's dynamic and unique every time you play and responsive to what the player is doing.
Open the door, Mr. Buttons.
A door? Why bother with doors when there's a universe waiting to be unlocked with a single press?
New technology are going to make things that are currently impossible possible, and I think that's going to unleash unexpected surprises and creativity there.
Started at a game that was very specifically about Battle Royale and other creative experiences. That's rapidly changing. We need to do a better job of not always sort of coming in through the same front door and showing you the same content for everybody and allowing you to get to, what I care about is this. Overall, like that's what's going to make all boats float.
And you never know, like who would have thought, like, oh, the biggest thing in Roblox now? Gardening. Yeah. It's like, that came out of the blue, but it works. And I think that's just one of a great number of innovations that will come along.
Having a place where it's easy to go and explore a thing because you just, on a whim, want to be part of what everybody else is doing is incredibly important for us.
My hypothesis is that we're moving away from separate standalone games with separate standalone social ecosystems to a model that's more like you go into an app and you go from place to place and you can experience the entire world of gaming there without ever losing contact with your friends, without ever having to log in again, without ever having to learn new controls or sign in, or just go through all the other frictions that impede gaming nowadays. So I think Epic has a bright future ahead as a developer of games in many different genres. I just think the days of like go to a place and download yet another game into your library of hundreds of games is evolving away. I think we're evolving away from that and going towards something that's a lot more like the web. You're in this web browser and you go from place to place and that's your experience. And most importantly is maintaining your social contact and being able to go with your squad from place to place.
It's almost like an evolution of when crossplay came out, that it used to be if I played on Xbox I couldn't play with you on PlayStation, and people just accepted it. When that barrier broke down and go, oh, I can be with my friends regardless of what platform I am, I think from a player perspective it became a demand. This is so much better. I think this is a very similar thing, that if you can keep your group of friends together as you're playing games and flowing from game to game, obviously that's a better experience. We feel like that should be our focus. Our focus should be, I go to Fortnite to have fun with my friends. That's the headline. And I go, well, if that means playing 10 games, then those 10 games better be easy to get to, and they better be fast to get into, and they better keep the squad together. That's what people would prefer, rather than saying 10 installs that I can sit there and click in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, where every game is different, every tutorial, every inventory system, every outfit I've ever bought. It makes a ton more sense to say, no, every outfit you've ever bought is applicable to anything you ever play.
Remember, Epic's mission here is to make great games and share the technology and tools we build with the entire world so that you can build anything that you want.